Today I'm pleased to present the planting of the newest grove of giant redwoods in Ketton, courtesy of a collaboration between myself, Ketton Green Spaces and Heidelberg Materials, who operate the Ketton Cement Works. If any of you followed my Save the Ketton Redwoods campaign, you'll know that while we succeeded in saving one grove of the giant sequoias in Paradise Field, the other is still likely destined for the axe if the quarry expansion goes ahead. With the help of Cade, I approached Heidelberg Materials with a proposal. So today I've got an exciting meeting at Heidelberg Materials, Ketton Cement Works. I'll be meeting with Mark Page, the Land and Minerals Manager, as well as Mr. Colas, the Quarry Manager, to talk about the future of the Ketton Redwoods. We had a very productive meeting at the Cement Works with Quarry Manager Aurelian Colas and Heidelberg's Land and Minerals Manager Mark Page earlier this year. They listened to our proposals and helped us by providing us with a piece of land suitable for the trees to be planted in. After a site visit and discussion of what we had in mind, we were told we could come and prepare the site later in the year. This has only been verbally and provisionally agreed. However, this is like an amazing step in the right direction for the project. It looks like we are going to be able to plant the next generation of Ketton Redwoods. Heidelberg Materials also funded the purchase of 10 giant sequoia saplings, which were reared by Yarrow Gardens, who have a redwood nursery. They gave us a very significant discount and were also a key supporter of the project, having seen my campaign over the last 2 years. From my own tree collection, I provided 2 more giant sequoias, 2 Coast Redwoods and 2 Dawn Redwoods, totaling 16 trees for the grove, 12 of which are giant sequoias. Myself, Adam and my dad spent some time preparing the site for planting, which involved clearing out quite a lot of dead ash, removal of other brash and small plants, as well as thinning out some of the silver birch trees around the edge of the area to let a little bit more light into the clearing. This also created some dead wood piles which will be valuable in the development of this young woodland. Once the site was a little clearer, I was able to mark out the position of the trees using some wooden canes salvaged from the older trees in the plantation. We also dug a small test hole. Months ago, I wrote to His Majesty the King about whether he might consider visiting us and planting a redwood at the grove. I did receive a reply, but understandably, he's quite busy and was unable to help out on this occasion, but it was still nice to receive his blessing. Before long, it was planting day. So today's the big day, 27th of November 2025. We're going to be planting the new Ketton Redwood Grove, consisting of 16 redwoods. So this cold morning on the 27th of November 2025, myself, Adam and the team of Heidelberg Materials volunteers, organised by Mark Page, met up at the site to begin the day. Lots of equipment and 16 trees had to be hauled across the fields over to the plot. Once there, myself and Adam set about demonstrating the process of planting a giant redwood. Digging out a large enough hole with square sides, planting the tree, staking the tree out with a sturdy post, protecting the base of the tree with a woolen mulch mat, and attaching the protective cowl to keep the deer at bay. Then it was everybody else's turn, and we all got to work planting giant redwoods. We even got a little fly past from the RAF during the session. It was rather surreal to have gone from campaigning against the forces of Heidelberg Materials, who were threatening to fell a grove of beautiful giant redwoods, to now seeing them change their plans to save the best and healthiest grove of giant redwoods in Paradise Field, and now to be planting a whole new grove of giant redwoods. I'm sure Thomas Burrows would have been pleased to see the way it all turned out. The folks from Heidelberg had come from all over the country and were a broad mixture of roles and backgrounds. I really enjoyed meeting them and passing on a little of my redwood fever. The woodland here will become accessible to the public in the coming years, with a permissive path which will allow people to come and visit the grove of redwoods and marvel as these small saplings turn into giants over the coming decades and centuries. We have discussed having a small opening event with some press and local people when the site does become accessible, and perhaps even the unveiling of a plaque. By number of trees, this is now the largest grove of giant sequoias in Ketton, and the plan is that the grove will be dedicated to the Burrows family as an act of thanks for their contributions to Ketton, particularly in the horticulture and green spaces we enjoy here today. After a few hours of furious activity, the trees were all planted. Now we must hope for a kind winter and a wet enough spring that the trees will survive through next summer, which will likely be the biggest challenge of their lives. This is not the end of the Ketton Redwood story. Rather, it's an exciting beginning of a new chapter for the redwood trees of Ketton. If anybody watching wants to collaborate with me on a future project, please get in touch with me. Those of you who own land could make a real contribution. There will be more updates to follow, but for now, I hope you have enjoyed watching the journey to get to this amazing outcome. As an individual, you can effect real change through collaboration, communication, and persistence. That's what this experience has taught me anyway. Thanks to Ketton Green Spaces Group, in particular Adam Cade. For those of us who know him, he is the Thomas Burrows of our era, and of course to Mark Page from Heidelberg Materials, who has been so open to our suggestions and has made all of this possible. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.